Welcome back to the Power Up with Keith Withrow show as we continue with part 2 of the trauma of the black man. Let's rejoin the discussion.
That's why I don't care. That's why my buddies wanted me to meet these high-powered women. That didn't feel good to me.
What did it feel like?
I mean, you would get with them, and they would all be on, oh, wow, we could do this and that. But I'm sitting there looking at them saying, well, you have a nasty house. You're an attorney, you fine and all, but your house is nasty. Well, we can get a maid. Well, why should we have to have a maid? What happens when the maid is not here? You're so busy out killing the world, you got a lot of money. I'm talking about a person that actually went out with. Had a lot of money. Had a whole lot. Several houses, everything. I couldn't deal with it. And how am I going to impact? Now, we could have collectively come together, but this is how I think.
Now, if people say that's egotistical,
It is.
If people say that's egotistical,
Probably
or
so.
arrogant, or what do you think about that?
I'm old school. I'm just saying me. Now, I know a lot of guys, they on the 50-50 plan. Yeah, you know, we 50-50. Now, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
In my world, I know a guy that I had a discussion with the other day. He raised hell because his wife ain't going to make no more money, but he the stay-at-home dad. And I said, I don't think you asking me. You shouldn't ask me that. Because I don't roll like that. My mind is, I want my wife to be able to stack her paper up. And if we get in a jam, because remember, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
So, Torre, if you're making $100,000 a year, okay, cool. Let's keep it moderate. You stack your paper. Because I'm over here taking chances. But I don't want your name on none of the stuff that I'm doing. Because if it gets sideways and I take a hit, because that's what you're doing when you're in business for yourself.
That's right.
You're laying your head on the sacrificial altar every single day.
Yes.
So it takes one thing to go wrong and it can all come tumbling down. So if you're not attached to that and you're over here separate and you got the money stacked up and you're good, man, if I take the hit, then I can say, all right, babe, man, I took a hit. Now I'm looking for you to help kick in.
Right.
Because I've had you for years. You never had to do nothing.
Right.
So you should have a nice little egg nest set up.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So we might have to survive off that for a minute.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm the type guy, even if you did, I still want to handle it. Now that is just me. Maybe I'm the guy that they talk about. Too much testosterone. It's unhealthy. He's a Cro-Magnon man.
Cro-Magnon.
I drag my woman by the hair.
See, that's why I disagree, though, because a man like that usually doesn't want a woman to work at all. A man like that usually has problems with a woman having her independence, having her own money. But I think we've gotten so far along in the system now where the minute a woman feels like she has any different options than a man, oh, it's a problem. It's a problem. And I'm like, in any government, because marriage is a contract, okay? And marriage is a system just like any other system.
Right.
You can't have but one boss.
Right.
I don't care. Y'all can get mad at me all day long. I'll say it and I'll say it again. I don't mind following a man. It's just got to be the right man.
You should want to follow your man.
It's got to be the right man.
Let me tell you
so y'all picking men that you know damn well you shouldn't be following. So that's why you got the problem. Okay? But I will follow a man. He's the right man.
Nope. If you're a grown ass woman and you meet a dude, he's a grown ass man. When I say grown ass, I'm talking upper 30s, 40s, grown people. And that man comes to move in with you. Now, and he can move in with you in a car, no U-Haul. There's no discussion of what you gonna do with all your bedroom sets and all your furniture. and you can move in with you in a car in one day,
It's coming with.
that's a problem. I don't know if you can follow this guy. I don't know if you can follow him. He hasn't shown himself worthy to be followed. Nobody's saying you got to be a gold digger, sack chaser, run around chasing double R's, looking for Bentley and Lambo trucks. I'm not saying that.
Well, the issue I have with that even still is you have a lot of women, and I know they feel like I'm beating up on them, but I'm trying to focus on the black man.
Come on now, that's why I like Kevin.
It's
Kevin
a
Sanders.
lot of women that want what they are not doing themselves.
You want a boss. Now I'm going peace to Kevin Samuels.
Oh no,
Rest
ain't no
in
peace over
bro.
here. I can stand Kevin
Well,
Samuels.
nah, I'm
Let's
not gonna
just
hit
be
him.
clear.
You
I can't stand
yes,
it.
he was a little rough on the women, and I think he was abused by women before he got paper. So you,
I don't even
can
think he liked women.
Well, I don't know about
that's
that, but
another
I'm just saying the man
conversation.
did say a lot of stuff that made a lot of sense. And this he did say, you want a high value man, you want a certain dude moving and shaking a certain kind of way, right? Mm-hmm. Are you even equipped to even have a man like that?
And most are not. I will concur. But my thing is, I'm not even talking about the finances. I'm talking about the head and the heart.
I'm talking about that too.
So you got all this back up trauma thinking that you're needing to be entitled. You're thinking that you don't know yourself well enough. I have so many female clients that are crying and bitching and moaning because they can't get a man or they can't keep a man, but they don't want to do the work to understand you got trauma and baggage too. See, we have juxtaposed onto men, it's your problem. It's your problem. Mm-hmm. It's your problem.
Right.
It's both of our problems.
That's right.
And it's going to stay both of our problems until it gets resolved. If I got the problem, it's your problem. If you got the problem, it's my problem. But we are so disenfranchised and disconnected that we just want to place blame and then drop our hands and step back and say, well, it's you, it's not me. No, it's all of us. Until we can really see through that lens, no change is going to happen.
So, in today's time, people aren't getting married like they used to. Okay? A lot of the Afro-American women are single now. I think I forget the statistics, but I remember something like in the early 70s, it was 70-something% of black women were married. Mm-hmm. Now I think we're down to 20-something% married.
Like
right?
30, I think it's like 33%, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But there's a huge, it flipped. It's almost a flip.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Now think about this. I said this in my last meeting, that when you talk about generational wealth, it's very, very difficult to have generational wealth when you have
High divorce rate.
a splintered family unit.
Yeah.
Because every time you've been through it, I've been through it. When every time you divorce, you spend time accumulating, right? Every time you divorce, you split.
Yeah.
And not only do you split the assets, you split emotionally, and there's damage done, right? So now the person you have to start all over again, right? So if you go through that 2 or 3 times, what is going to be left for the generations? You can't amass any kind of generational wealth like that. You splitting up properties. The house is one of the first things that gets split up. You splitting up everything.
And to take even further, like let's just say hypothetically, you're married and one person carries the insurance, right?
Right.
And then you divorce.
Right.
So they take you off the insurance. Now
Right.
you don't have insurance.
Right.
Now you out here trying to manage life, not taking care of your physical being, right?
Right.
So when a lot of the health disparities that we have in our communities is not necessarily just because we don't, of course, make enough money, but it's because we out here now trying to get to point B. We've gotten divorced. I don't have health insurance. His health insurance went over here. I'm not taking care of my health. Now I look up. I'm working all the time. I'm eating like crap. I'm not exercising. I'm not getting adequate sleep. Now I wake up in my 40s, I got hypertension. I wake up in my 40s, I got diabetes. I wake up in my 40s, I got cancer. I wake up in my 40s, I got on and on. So the health disparities is not just set up because of economics, so to speak. It's community. You separate that community. Do you know how many people? I'll be honest. When I divorced my first husband, I gave up health insurance. I was waiting tables, working on my doctorate, and doing counseling on the side.
I know, I was there.
And my daughters were on Peach State.
Right.
I was like, they're going to have insurance. If they're going to have it. I did not have dental insurance and I did not have medical insurance for 5 years. I was on a wing and a prayer.
It was a struggle.
And thank you, Jesus. I was in my 30s and I was healthy. I was still young and healthy.
Exactly.
But if that happens to a woman in her 50s?
That happened to my mom in her 50s. That happened to my mother in her 50s. Dad, I sat and watched that. It broke her. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. But it's so much to talk about. Like, let's get back to the man thing. Mm-hmm. Because you know what I think? And this is by design. The man was designed, I'll be called a chauvinist pig. When man was designed, there's God, there's the husband, the wife's right there, and the kids. Mm-hmm. Right? Alignment, right?
Right.
You take the head away. Now, this is an old strategy, military. You go in, you conquer, and you take away the men or you kill the men. You can enslave the women and children. You'll take them and you can enslave them and make them a part of your society.
Right.
Right? So if you decapitate the head, the body will
crumble.
Will be crippled. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's what has happened. So now it's to the point where men, a lot of men are saying they're not going to get married.
Yes.
Why should they get married?
Thanks, Kevin Samuels.
They get all the things they want from whatever woman they want it from.
Yeah.
And why buy the cow when you can get all the milk you can drink for free? Because now I'm gonna tell you what has been happening. A lot of the guys who are able, they're saying they're gonna go to other nationalities mm-hmm. to get women for wives.
Why? Yep, come on, break it down. I don't know how much time we got, but I will make time for this one.
Because the sisters, in a lot of cases, not all, don't know how to handle the guy. Talk crazy to you. Say whatever. I don't need your masculine side. I need what God gave you, your feminine side. Okay? All I'm saying is...
You know I'm coming for you, right? Come on.
Men want your feminine. They want your feminine. They want your feminine.
So
I don't need... If you're a boss, you're a boss. Mm-hmm. But when you get home, like you said earlier, you're a boss. Mm-hmm. You go home and boss your husband? Gonna boss him?
Not at all. My husband has so much to do with where I am. He helped me so much.
Give him orders and mm-hmm. tell him.
No, don't get it twisted. I am a black woman, and every now and then, Josephine gonna come out. Every now and then, okay. But here's the thing: there was a time when we allowed each other to be man and woman, and we loved each other in spite of our flaws.
Yes.
That situation about a black man going outside and solely, I don't have a problem with anybody falling in love with who they fall in love with. Mm-hmm. But when you say and declare that you won't date your own race because of whatever reason.
Or it may be their own race, but it comes from another country.
That's brokenness.
Oh, no.
No. Hold on. That is not. If you say they go and get an African woman and that African woman is the same as a black woman in America, no, sir.
No,
they are submissive.
Different.
They are submissive.
That's what I'm saying.
Their culture is different,
it's
right?
It's a different culture.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Right.
If you came from a strong black woman, mm-hmm. if you grew up in a house where a black woman was by herself, worked,
Yeah.
clothed you,
Yeah.
fed you. Yeah, she raised some hell.
Yeah.
She's tired.
Yeah.
She's had a lot to contend with,
That's
right?
That's right.
Maybe like you and I talked about before we started here, have maybe 1 or 2 men coming through the house.
Right.
Okay, I get that.
Right.
But you mean to tell me your eyes can only see what was wrong and not see what was right? Your eyes can only see what she didn't do rather than what she did do.
A lot of those guys that came from that, you know what they get?
What?
They're on mama's breast milk.
I told you they're broken. They haven't matured.
Let me say it now. They've been on mama's breast milk suckling. And they'll leave mama's breast.
And go to another one.
And they'll go you, and you'll be the new mama. And now they gonna suckle on your breast. But you just now the mama with benefits. That's the dude who moved in with the car.
Didn't have, but he could fill up one car ride.
He gonna suckle on your breast, and you're gonna nurture him. There's a lot of those guys now.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of them now.
Yes.
These are the guys you see with these young, especially the very young ones. You see it all the time. The girl's driving, the dude is laid back in the seat.
My husband hates that.
He laid back on his phone or smoking a joint, and she's driving like a maniac, and she pull up to the gas station and jump out and put her money in their machine and jam her nozzle in her hole, and that joke will never even get out. That joke will stay in the car.
Like she gonna blow his high. Like she gonna blow his high if she asks him to.
And he don't even get out the pump the gas.
Yes.
More. Don't talk about paying for the gas.
Oh God.
Oh no, it's not. It's her car. It's her money. He's suckling. This is a problem. And guess who did it? Women did it. Trying to raise men. Now I'm gonna go. Let me finish. Now I have a big problem. You know this about me. With men, to me, if you're a man, I'm gonna say it right here, right now. If you got a problem, come see me about it. If you're a man who made a child and you won't take care of your own, you're taking up too much oxygen on Earth. I think you need to be deleted. You should be deleted. You shouldn't even be here on Earth. Why? If you don't have the wherewithal to be there for your own child, and this is even worse, your child is your child.
Yeah.
But these men who have beautiful daughters and don't even support your own child, and you calling yourself a man, if it was left up to me, we would round you all up and take you out to a field and do something to you.
Do something to you, right?
Do something to you. Because that don't register to me.
Right.
My brain, it
doesn't register me, and I mean, no shade.
But this goes on. I know I've seen guys hide from their children so their kids wouldn't see them. I know a dude who moved next door. We just moved into this big house next door, working there. And his kids and his wife, kids live next door. And he would duck and dodge and hide. If he seen the kids come out, he'd run and hide from them so they wouldn't see him. Now, when he was there, my ex-wife and I bought those children's Christmas. He had no food. I gave them money to buy food to put in their refrigerator for their little children. So finally, I had to tell him, I said, look here, dude, you run around, can't figure out why you can't make it. and why you can't kill nothing, nothing won't die. To me, ain't nothing gonna come good to you, dude, until you do right by your own children.
And let's take it even further. Until you do right by your wife. That's biblical.
Well,
God says to get a wife is a good thing. Now let me say this.
yeah.
A wife needs to be a wife just like a husband needs to be a husband. I ain't talking about just any woman off the street that you put a ring on and now that's your wife. It needs to be a high value woman. And I am not talking about paper. I'm talking about morals. I'm talking about principles. I'm talking about values.
Right.
But going back to that whole thing about the suckling and that form of trauma.
Right.
We need to, this is going to have to be 3 episodes. We need to discuss the different nuances, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but we're not going to be able to probably further get into it, of why men don't like women. And how men use women to get the releases that they need, but not have them in their vision.
Did y'all hear that? Point. Men, a lot of men, don't like women. I'm not talking about men who have proclaimed and said they are now homosexual and that their interest in sex is men. No, I'm talking about heterosexual men who are married to women, who date women, who lay with women, but they really and truly don't like women. They only like what a woman can give them. That's the truth. I know it hurts. But it's the truth. I know a lot of them. They listen to you enough to hear what they need to say to get what they want. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm.
That's the conversation that I really want to delve into knee deep as to why men and women don't like each other. Now, let me tell you something. Women still really want, and to some extent like men, we don't trust men anymore.
I believe
we do
that.
not respect men.
At all.
And that lack of respect has now manifested into hate, right?
Yes.
It's like it's a love-hate relationship,
yes.
Right? Women will go and find a great man, and instead of speaking accolades and affirmations over this man, in the back of her mind, she's waiting like, when are you gonna screw up? When are you gonna do something wrong? So that trauma that both of us have that says we can't coexist. Mm-hmm. We can't have cohesion. We can't be together because the trust in who we are as far as our identities have been compromised. So like you talking about that woman making all that money, but she nasty. That comes from that background of you being around women that kept a tight home and that women nurtured and made a home flourish, right?
Yes.
So you don't trust the fact that, are you really female? Are you really for me? Because you can't even take care of your house, right?
Right.
And then on the flip side, a woman looking at a man saying, oh, okay, when my daddy left at this age, and when he did come home, he was mad half the time. He was beating on my mama. He was hitting on my mama. So when you going to flip the script? If I piss you off, what you going to do?
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's where we are. And that's the stuff that we have to unearth. The thing that I think is really the cure that we'll talk about, we all got to see each other as human beings. We're still looking at, you're a man, I'm a woman. That is so irrelevant. It's biological.
Right.
But we're two human beings trying to have a human experience.
Right.
How do we get to that? How do we get past being black, being male, being female, and being human?
I don't think, Dr. Torre, I just don't think we really truly understand one another. Like you can't even explain in a lot of cases what your feelings are.
Who, a woman?
No, a man.
A man. Okay.
Like, if we try to explain ourselves, now you trying to play a victim, or you making an excuse, or you... No. This is how I feel. It's almost as if somewhere along the way, a black man has become some sort of a figure that we're here, we're around, we're doing stuff, but nobody's like really hearing you. Like, you just produce. That's what you do. You just go produce.
That's horrible. But I know I've I've heard men say that. I've heard men say that.
Like,
the only thing you good for is production.
I say this. You're a walking resource. You're supposed to be that. But I also, I am also a person.
Right.
Like,
right.
Does anybody care or give a flying fuck? And I said it, the F-bomb. Do you care about how I feel? Like, I'm making it happen. I'm busting my head to the white meat to make a certain household lifestyle, to make it as comfortable as possible for anyone who's connected to me. That's my shit, right? It really is like, that's my shit. That's what makes me feel good. And the only thing I want from you is for you to be respectful and to be grateful. If you're respectful and grateful to the ones who are like me, and there's a few of us out here, not a lot of younger ones, I think we're damn near becoming extinct.
It's interesting because I do think there are a lot of Gen Z and millennials that really do want to be, as Jason Wilson talks about, a comprehensive man. I think they are doing the work. I have a lot of young men that are in sessions with me that really want the wife in the home. But there is a lot of work still around this thing of what is true ownership, rulership. Like that whole rulership thing, that generation don't even want to hear that. See, they really don't. They want partnership and they want equality. But the thing is, they haven't figured out how to finesse it from a place of liking each other. See, we don't like each other. So how am I going to partner with somebody? A, I don't trust, and B, I don't really like. I lust after you. I want to sleep with you. I have a lot of male clients that are like, I finally found a woman that's down for a threesome. So I think I can make this work. I'm like, how you think that's going to work?
That is not going to
That's
work.
That's fantasy. That's not reality.
You mean in your primary relationship?
Exactly.
With your wife?
In your home life, you talking about you want this lifestyle because they still living.
Scenario.
Well, they still living in that whole internet fantasy because they still don't really know, like you said from the beginning, who they are. Right?
I'm funny like that. Like territorial. I don't want nobody messing with my wife, my woman. If it's my woman, I don't want nobody messing with my woman.
Not even if it's another woman?
Period. No. I don't want to do a threesome with somebody I love.
That's what I'm laughing at because the thing is...
If I don't like you, that's how you know.
And here's the thing.
If I say something like that, you know I don't really like you like that. I don't love you. Like,
thank you.
I said earlier, you're just something to make me feel good.
Yeah, pleasurable.
You're just like, you're not somebody I love. Now everybody's different. But I find it hard to believe if you love your wife. I'm an alpha, so I'm a little different. There's different personalities, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm an alpha, so most alphas are territorial.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't having no other dog sniffing around. He's got to go. The lion will kill his own offspring. Yep. When he get a certain age, he's got to go.
Time for you to get out of here.
Or you're going to be under my rule. Now, if you stay under my rule, you can stay. But when you think you want to procreate, no procreation is going on around here with me. That's alpha.
Yeah.
Now, again, not everybody's alpha. Cats want to claim they're alphas. They want to say they're alphas. And there's nothing wrong with being a beta. There's nothing wrong being saying to some of the others. Everybody can't be an alpha.
That's right. That's one leader.
The leaders got to.
And that's what I'm saying. That whole thing, going back to, again, this whole thing where we are now about everybody wanting equality and nobody wants to be submissive. That's not how we're designed as people.
No.
We're not
We're
designed
going
that
against
way.
the grain.
And
that's why it's all jacked up. And that's why our community, and that's what I wanted to say earlier, you take away the keystone. Now you got problems. Now you got the kids running around like wild banshees doing whatever. The girls are out of control. The boys are out of control. Everything's out of control. Everything's all out of whack.
Yeah.
Now, the other people, okay, tell me what other group of women you hear saying, I don't need a man, I'm good by myself.
None.
All I need is just to get me. They trying to be like a dude. I'm gonna go get me some. I'm gonna like, you're a woman. You're not even designed. The way you're made is not even designed to be doing what men do. Men are made out. Women are made in. A woman can carry only one baby at a time for 9 months or however many months.
We ain't gonna go down this road
just saying.
because I'm just gonna tell you that's true. But
and there's more women on this earth for a reason. I'm telling you now. Now that's not the society we live in now.
no, it's not.
And I think somehow or another the society we live in is making us go against the grain.
Yes. But also it's the trauma too. It's everybody is set up now for a few things, and I won't go too deep into this, but I will say this. We are set up for selfishness, finances. Everybody wants the bag. If you got the bag and not the community, you have nothing.
Right.
Okay?
That's right.
All right? If you got everything that you want,
Right.
but you don't have community, you have nothing.
Nothing. Right.
Right?
Yeah, you're ready to
Selfishness,
call anytime.
finances, and complete autonomy. You can't have autonomy in a community.
No.
So it totally goes against.
It's not designed.
It's not designed that way.
The Lord didn't design.
You got all
us
these
that way.
people now, and with it's social media and with all the things that are happening, people can stay in their home and not have to go out into community, which makes them more selfish,
Exactly.
more internalized,
That's right.
more self-centered.
Self-centered, right.
Yep.
This is loaded. This whole conversation is loaded. We on topic, but we're off topic.
Yeah.
Like we're on it, but there's so many pieces to
Layers.
it, and there's so many layers
Yeah.
that it seems like you're off, but you're really on, because we are on. Because the black man is the catalyst for our community.
Yes, he is, and that's
It's
why I
not
wanted. That's why I wanted to start with him.
And it's not saying that the woman is in. No, we need y'all.
We need y'all.
We need our black women.
And we need our
We
black
need
women.
our women.
Yes.
It's not good for man to be alone. You look at most guys who are single. They're not as productive as a married guy.
But also now, you know the stat.
What's the stat?
The stat is married men live longer than single men. Single women live longer than married women.
Single women live longer than married women.
Because married women are more stressed. Married women are usually more unhappy. That's a stat. And that's something I would really like to get to. Because I think a lot of this is coming from a place of expectation and poor modeling and poor choosing. Because back in the day, it used to be a married woman outlived a single woman. But things have changed, and it's because I believe the married woman works just as hard now as the man does. But if a woman's sitting at home being kept and she keeps house, of course she's going to outlive her husband. She don't have the same stressors. She doesn't have the same engagement with life that he has. She's sitting at home. But now women are out here working, cooking, cleaning, coming home, paying bills, dealing with the stuff that's going on with the man. So the stat now is the married man lives longer than the single man, and the single woman outlives the married woman.
But in the dynamic of yesterday, most of the time, if a man is the type of man that's going to hold his house down and have his woman like my mom was. See, my mom kept us. My mother didn't work until I got to the 10th grade.
My mom started working when I was in elementary school.
So my mom was always the room mom, very active at the school, always helping you with your homework. We very rarely ate out. We would be so happy if we had a McDonald's because my mom was gonna cook she's gonna cook a meal every day.
Yeah.
All of these things. That's why I like tailor stuff now, because my mom was a seamstress. And she would custom make like all my little clothes and stuff. So I grew up with my stuff being tailor made as a kid. So I wonder why I like it now. Because I had to think, I said, wait a minute. That's what I'm used to. When I was a prep at Westwood, and you used to notice I used to have all them nice plaid pants and kind of
polo down.
Yeah, but like my slacks and stuff and a lot of my blazers.
I saw it.
My mom made
Your mom made it.
But I was too embarrassed to tell if I knew what I know now, I was like, yeah, man, it's custom made.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would tell somebody, I'd make up something, say I got it somewhere. But long story short, this is a deep, we need to do a whole series on this, Dr. Torre. We need to come back and dig into and peel back some more of these layers.
And I really want to focus more on talking about black men and the vulnerability aspect, the piece. Like I said, why they don't like women, why women are where they are, but I really want to find out more about black men and how they internalize and A, don't feel seen, and B, don't feel heard and appreciated.
That's a good way to end this segment. Man, I'm going to tell you. We went down the rabbit hole. The red pill or the blue pill. Everybody, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Thank you, Dr. Torre. We'll be back. We're not finished with this.
Yeah.
Look for the next piece coming soon. We're going to go deeper. We're going to pull back more layers. We're going to see if we can figure this thing out, or at least bring about the awareness.
Yes.
That someone can take this information and make it very useful for them in their lives or in their relationships.
Absolutely.
That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Is to help somebody. We're just bringing it from her level of expertise, my transparency. And we just think that these deep-rooted conversations can be very useful to you guys out there. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check us out. And look out for the next episodes as we dig into some of these things that a lot of people just don't talk about. Well, social media is doing a pretty good job now with a lot of these conversations just being open. But I just don't know how much people are taking heed to it, you know.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. There's so much information floating around out there. But we're going to bring you some good content. And just look out there for us. Again, thank you for watching the Power Up with Keith Withrow show. We love you, and we out.
The Power Up with Keith Withrow show is sponsored by Motor Coach Consulting International. Excellence in ground transportation.